Assalamu alaikum everyone. Uh, Today lecture we cover the branches of chemistry. That's number one, class 9th, class 9th, and according to new syllabus. So I am covering all the important questions and all the questions related to the examination. So first question is differentiate between an ion and a free radical. So we have to differentiate between ion and a free radical. Free radical. So what is ion? Ion basically is a charged species formed from an atom or a chemically bonded group of atom by adding or removing electrons. So ion is a charged particle, is a charged species, charged species formed from formed from an atom or chemically bonded groups chemically bonded groups chemically bonded groups of atoms by adding or removing electrons. Adding or removing electrons. So this is ion. So ion is a charged species formed from an atom or chemically bonded groups of atoms by adding or removing electrons. So second thing is its classification. So it is classified basically as cations, and anions. So cations are positively charged species, and anions are negatively charged species. Now moving towards free radicals. So a free radical is an atom with an unpaired electron and bears no charge. A free radical free radical free radical is an atom with an unpaired with an unpaired electron and bears no charge. So free radical having no charge and bears no charge. Then free radical is an electrically neutral species. An electrically neutral species. So, by example, if H hydrogen exists in its original form, that hydrogen one electron, so it's hydrogen free radical. Hydrogen free radical, and if it takes one electron to complete its duplet, so it pairs of negative charge, this hydrogen free radical will be converted into hydrogen ion. Hydrogen ion. Hydrogen ion. So this is the hydrogen ion. So what about main difference? So it's a charged species having positive or negative charge, and it's there no charge. It's in unpaired electrons and electrically neutral species. So this is the completion of question number 1. Now moving towards question 2. What do you know about corpuscular nature of matter? Corpuscular nature of matter means how the scientists thought about this nature or the composition of the nature. The basic concepts uh, about the corpuscular nature of matter defined by 3 concepts. The major one is Empirical, then Plato, and then Aristotle. So now, first one is Empirical. Yes. Empirical concept. Empirical concept, according to it is a Greek scientist or Greek ancient philosopher. Greek philosopher Empedocles. Greek philosopher. Greek philosopher. According to his concept, the earth is made up of 4 things, and 4 things called elements. And these are, earth is made up of 4 elements, according to Empedocles. First one is earth, then water, then air, and fourth one is fire. So earth, according to Empedocles, that all the materials are made up of 4 things. They call it elements. So the name are earth, matter, water, air, and fire. Now second one is Plato's concept. Plato concept. Plato concept. Plato also adopted the concept of Empedocles and coined the term element to describe these 4 elements. So basically, these 4 things or the elements, the proper name of the 4 things known as element is introduced by the Plato's concept, and all the 4 elements are the same. That is, Earth is made up of, or the universe is made up of 4 things: Earth, water, fire, and air. Now the third one is Aristotle concept. Aristotle concept. Aristotle concept. So Aristotle also adopted the concept of four elements. He introduced the idea of that elements can be differentiated on the basis of the properties such as hot versus cold, hot versus cold, and wet versus dry. Wet versus dry. So in the corpuscular nature of matter, the major work is done by the Empedocles, and Plato and Aristotle do the same thing regarding the Empedocles concept that the Earth is made up of four elements. This is the end of the question number 2. Now moving towards question number 3, differentiate between analytical chemistry and environmental chemistry. Now the third one. In third question, we have to differentiate between analytical chemistry and the environmental chemistry. So the basic difference between analytical and environmental chemistry is the analytical chemistry deals with the determination of the composition of material. That is, when I am talking about brass, so there is composition of two metals, that is nickel and zinc. So this is the this deals with regarding the analytical chemistry. And in environmental chemistry is the branch of chemistry. Basically, it deals with the toxic materials and toxic substances and their adverse effects of the pollution on the human being. So the major difference is, and I am taking a major difference between analytical analytical chemistry and second one is environmental chemistry. Environmental chemistry. So this is the branch of chemistry deals with the determination or determining the composition of material. Composition of material. While in environmental chemistry, it deals with the chemicals and toxic substances that pollute the environment, and their adverse effects on human beings, and their adverse effects on human beings. This is the basic difference between analytical and environmental chemistry. Now the fourth one is, what is mole? Mole basically is the amount of substance which contains the number of chemical units same as carbon 12. So when I am talking about what the mole is in the physical or in the physical scenario, so mole is just a number which is known as Avogadro number, and its value is 6.02 10 raised power 23. So how to define? So firstly, we can define as a mole is the amount of substance is the amount of substance mole is the amount of substance which contains which contains same number of chemical units and number of chemical units same number of chemical units as there are as there are atoms exactly in carbon 12 as there are atoms exactly in carbon 12 actually in carbon 12. So the symbol to represent the mole is in the numerical is MOL. This is the standard or SI symbol of the mole. So the major thing is how to define a mole in a numerical. So a mole is the amount of substance that contains 6.02 into 10 to the power 23 particles of number. So a mole is an amount. Mole is an amount. Mole is an amount of substance. Mole is an amount of substance that contains 6.02 into 10 raised power 23 particles of substances. Particles of substances. Basically 6.02 in 10 raised power 23 particles is also known as, this is the Avogadro number. It's known as Na, symbol is Avogadro number. So by taking example, remove this. When I take the example of a mole of carbon, for example, a mole of carbon, is 6.02 into 10 raised power 23 atoms. So a mole of water is also how much? 6.02 into 10 raised power 23 molecules. What is the difference between the carbon and a water? So carbon is an atom while water is a molecule. So the number of particles both contain is the same. So the number of moles, the bigger formula is number of moles, formula of number of moles of a substance must be equals to mass in grams, mass in grams divided by molecular mass. This is the formula to find how many number of moles in a substance. So this is the standard definition of mole. First to define mole, then the symbol of mole, then practically how many particles or number represent a mole, and a number of mole of a carbon is this one, and the number of water it contains how many number of molecules it represents the Avogadro number. Now, step one is differentiate between empirical and molecular formula. So what is empirical formula? What is molecular formula? Empirical formula is basically the formula of a compound that gives the simplest whole number ratio, while the molecular formula is the actual whole number ratio. This is the basic difference. I am repeating again. Empirical formula is the simplest whole number ratio of substance, while the molecular formula is the actual whole number ratio of a substance. So to compare it, we first have to start with the definition, then the general difference, then the formula, and we must include an example. So first, this side is empirical formula. Empirical formula. And this one is molecular formula. Molecular formula. So first to define it. Definition. The empirical formula is the empirical formula of a compound is the chemical formula that represents or that gives the simplest whole number ratio. The simplest whole number ratio of atoms of each element. And while the molecular formula just gives the actual whole number ratio. Gives the actual whole number ratio of atoms of each element present in a compound. Present in a compound. So this is the general definition. So a formula which represents the simplest whole number ratio of a compound is the empirical formula, while the formula which gives the actual number of atoms represent in a compound is the molecular formula. So the formula is empirical formula is equals to molecular formula divided by n. N means number of moles, and the formula of molecular formula is just the n multiplied by empirical formula. Molecular formula is equal to n multiplied by empirical formula. So this is the general formula to define empirical and molecular formula. Now, empirical formula is used for both molecules and ionic compounds, while the molecular formula is used for only for the molecular compounds. Now, make some space. It's for third point is it's for the both molecular and ionic compounds. Both molecular and ionic compounds and ionic compounds and the molecular formula is just for the molecular compounds. Now, there must, I suppose, an example. So, CH2O. Now, for example, I am taking the glucose example, but I erase it. The empirical or molecular formula of glucose is C6H12O6. Now it's moving towards ratio that is 6:12:6. Now it's how to by dividing 6, so it will make 1:2:1. 1:2:1 is the simplest whole number ratio So its empirical formula will be CH2O. In case of benzene, C6H6, it will make 6 6 ratio 6. So 6 will make simplest 1:1. So it will make CH as the empirical formula. So this is the ending of the question number 5. Question number 6. Now, the next one is, what is the number of molecules in 6 grams of steam? So, how to find steam? Steam is basically water, H2O. Okay. So, given is mass in grams, mass in grams. How much? 9 grams. We have to find molar mass of steam. How much? It must be 2 multiplied by 1 because of the 2 moles of hydrogen and 1 mole of oxygen. 1 multiplied by 16. It will make 2 plus 16 equals to 18 grams. So the formula is number of moles, number of molecule is number of molecules equals to mass in gram divided by molar mass multiplied by Avogadro number NA. So how putting the value? So mass in gram equals to 9 gram, molar mass 18 gram, and the Avogadro number is 6.02 into 10 raised to power 23. After substitution, its value is equals to 3.01 into 10 raised 23 molecules. This is the required answer. We have to find number of molecules. Why? जल्दी जल्दी उठ, नमाज पढ़नी है. अगर हाँ जी तेज समझ आ गए. छोड़ दे उसको. लाइट ऑफ करके जाता हूँ. like on the कैसे मतलब क्या है देखो रखेंगे अभी तक तो मसला पहले वो करते थे दोबारा अभी अभी जो करते हैं हम पटाखे में बोलते हैं तो ईरानियन 238 and 235 अब वो बता रहे हैं 238 और 235 इसको मॉडल मैथ फाइंड करो लिखा हुआ है कुछ नहीं आंसर है तब ईरानियन क्या है 238 लिखा हुआ है ना ये इसका मॉडल मैथ 235 है ईरानियन वो कितना है मल्टीपल पर है while one mode of hydrogen molecule and one mode of hydrogen atom have different masses. क्या मतलब है वन मोल ऑफ हाइड्रोजन एटम का मतलब है वन ग्राम और वन मोल ऑफ हाइड्रोजन अब टू है ना दो एलिमेंट्स है हम में 2 + 1 2 ग्राम हो जाएगा 2 मतलब तो इसका मतलब 2 = 2 ग्राम इसके बाद डेफिनेशन में हमारे पास आयन आयन वही पुरानी डेफिनेशन आयन चार्ज करके हुए हैं मॉलिक्यूल आयन जब मॉलिक्यूल लूज करेगा लूजर गैस फिर फार्मूला यूनिट है फार्मूला यूनिट में पूरा फार्मूला अगर मेरा बन रहा है और वो लूजर गैस कर रहे हैं फिर रेडिकल फिर atomic number number of protons ठीक है और फिर mass number of protons plus number of electrons atomic mass हम कंपेयर करते हैं रिलेटेड टू कार्बन 12 रिलेटेड टू कार्बन 12 फिर उसके बाद एटम और आयन के कंपैरिजन एटम बेसिकली क्या है simplest particle of an element और ion is the charge species कोई चीज को माप चार्ज कराती है फिर मॉलिक्यूलर आयन और फ्री रेडिकल वही है सारा मैसेज चार्ज आयन और फ्री रेडिकल था मॉलिक्यूलर डिफरेंस बोल रहे हैं डिफरेंस बहुत ज्यादा आते हैं जल्दी खाओ शुरू हो जाओ है मेरी सही आ रही है? आज नहीं रुका हाँ देन क्या मेरे ऊपर नहीं आती है। अरे जल्दी अब आराम से बीच में बस से सुनाते हैं जल्दी जल्दी फिर वो स्पीकर से जो है आवाज आएगी बस काम करो मेरे पास प्रोग्रेस स्कूल से टेस्ट साफ था तो ठीक है वो ना हमें ग्रामर रूल होगा ग्रामर रूल है एक और रूल है ना डायरेक्ट कन्वर्जन क्या होगा कब टेस्ट है मंडे को मंडे थर्सडे को ग्रामर में कॉल कर दूंगा ठीक है ग्रामर भी डायरेक्ट कन्वर्जन भी एडिट करने में मैसेज आता है ग्रामर एग्जाम तो थोड़ा यूनिट है हमारा फिर आप इसके बाद जब मैं इसको जाऊंगा उसके बाद डेफिनेशन के बाद उसमें फाइंड करें नंबर ऑफ मोड का फार्मूला क्या है मोड का फार्मूला है mass in gram divided by molar mass बस अगर वो मुझे क्या मल्टीप्लाई 1000 नहीं करना परसेंटेज तो नहीं फाइंड करना मास का नहीं करना 2.4 ग्राम ऑफ हीलियम फाइंड करना है ना अगर तो 2.4 ग्राम के बेसिकली तो वो इट मैथ उसका मैथ है हीलियम का हमें क्या फाइंड करना है मोलर मैथ की नहीं पूछता 4 ग्राम में ग्राम वाला तो नहीं उसमें मैथ में ज्यादा लिखेंगे जो ऊपर वाली वैल्यू डालते नहीं ये बात नहीं है नंबर ऑफ मोल्स अगर फाइंड करते हैं ऑलवेज इन ग्राम जब बस पूछे व्हाट हाउ मेनी नंबर ऑफ मोल्स हां जितना एक है ना पाव आधा किलो है ये इनका ग्राम इज दी स्टैंडर्ड यूनिट इन केमिस्ट्री ठीक है मोल्स के अंदर ग्राम चलता है सारा नो केजी अभी क्या नंबर ऑफ मोल्स का बड़ा फार्मूला था मुझे क्या था अभी जो टाइम है बिल्कुल ठीक है मैथ वाली मालूम है अब नंबर ऑफ मोल्स का ना अगर हम पूछते हैं नंबर ऑफ मॉलिक्यूल्स हाउ मेनी नंबर ऑफ मॉलिक्यूल्स तो इसका फार्मूला है नंबर ऑफ मोल्स मल्टीप्लाई बाय Na यानी कि एवोगाड्रो नंबर क्यों? एवोगाड्रो नंबर किसके बराबर होता है? नंबर ऑफ मॉलिक्यूल डिवाइडेड बाय नंबर ऑफ मोल्स। ठीक है, एवोगाड्रो नंबर से निकाले हमने नंबर ऑफ मॉलिक्यूल का फॉर्मूला। खत्म हो गई। आधा घंटा और करना है मैंने। वो जो थे उनसे चलें, अब अभी मैं रिकॉर्डिंग में कर रखा हूँ, काइंडली देखना कि ठीक है, डन। अब अभी तक बिल्कुल हिलना नहीं है और बोलना नहीं है जरा। ओ वेल बीटी 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 कनेक्टेड। आवाज आ रही है? नहीं आ रही, अब सही नहीं आ रही है। अब आई है आवाज? बस ठीक है। बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। अभी जो हमने करना है क्वेश्चन 6 कर चुके हैं। बस मूव टुवर्ड्स क्वेश्चन 7। ओके ओके ओके, 6 हो गया ना? अब्दुल इसकी समझ आई है फॉर्मूला यूनिट की? सही, डन। आगे चले। सही है। फिर पूछ रही है ना, NaCl का फॉर्मूला यूनिट इज सिंपल। ये आयन का ही बड़ा भाई है फॉर्मूला यूनिट। ये अगर फार्मूले के अंदर जब आते हैं, हाँ, फार्मूले के अंदर जब डालते हैं Na, तो NaCl का मतलब ये होगा कि 1 Na पॉजिटिव आयन एंड 1 Cl नेगेटिव। MgCl2 का मतलब क्या होगा? 1 Mg पॉजिटिव आयन एंड 2 Cl नेगेटिव आयन। इस तरह कंपोजिशन बननी है हमारी। तो इस कंपोजिशन को कहेंगे फार्मूला यूनिट। नाउ ठीक है, हम आगे चल रहे हैं अब फ्री रेडिकल पे। इलेक्ट्रॉन्स। अब्दुल मामा ने बुलाया? आपने बुलाया इसे? जब पूछा मामा से क्या बुला रही हैं, तो आपकी आवाज आई है, हमने रोका है। क्यों जा रहे हो? क्यों? कौन सी टैंकी, कौन सी टूटी लीक हुई है? बिल्कुल लूज हो गई है। आप एक मिनट जाए, पीछे से मैं आता हूँ। मैं खुद ही काम करता हूँ स्पेयर पार्ट्स का। मैं आता हूँ चाइना से, और मेरी अपनी एक ना प्लेटफॉर्म है, ये मेरा रजिस्टर्ड नंबर है। कोई ऐसा हो ना मामला, ये मुझे पता है कितने साथ है, सब कुछ मुझे मामला सारे पता है। नहीं सही हमारे पास जो हम लेते हैं अभी आप सब बात नहीं सर्विस में खत्म हुआ कि मेरे साथ चलते हैं, मैं भी आप फाइनल लेके नहीं आता, यकीन माने नहीं माने ना, यकीन अभी मैं काम कर रहा था, मैं काम कर रहा था यार, कैसे पढ़ाएगा, लेकिन इतनी तो अप्लाई करो ठीक है। भाई का नंबर जो है ना, भाई को आज फिर क्या मसला है यार, क्या टेंशन है। भाई का नाम क्या है, अभी काम सीखते हो या कर लेते हो? नंबर का था हिंदी का भी कर लेते हो, ये सीलिंग करने को बैठते हैं लड़की लगा लेते हो सीलिंग के अंदर, वो करके अंदर चलो मैं सारे सारे डाल भी यहाँ सारे असल में ना कंपनी है ना, उसमें क्या है कि स्टैंडर्ड मिलते हैं, तो वो मिलता है सारा कि आपने ये सारा काम करके किया है, हमें तो मिलते हैं सरकारी तो उसमें बाकी चलो कितनी बचत है। मैं तो मैं की बात हो रहा है, मेरी बात ये तो अभी आप देना बात नहीं कर पाते हैं, मैं आपको चला अब्दुल रहमान लेट हो रहा है बहुत। चलो 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 चलो, अभी तक 2 मिनट भी बोलना नहीं है। अच्छा अब्दुल रहमान को बाद में, अब्दुल रहमान को बाद में बुलाना। बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। इसके अब बिल्कुल नहीं होगी, अंदर स्पेंडल बिल्कुल खराब था। चले हाँ नया लगाया है स्पेंडल, इसके अंदर होती है एक चीज है स्पेंडल, वो खराब होती है टूटी के अंदर, और कोई चीज नहीं जलती बस। अच्छा अभी अभी हम पढ़ रहे हैं। चेक माय वॉइस, ओके क्लियर है? ठीक है बस वाला बैठे बार बार यार। अभी हमें आवाज नहीं आ रही जो बोल रही है, अभी काम करें बाद में देखते हैं। बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। साउंड इज क्लियर? बिस्मिल्लाह। Now, as we know, 1 mole of substance equals 6.02 in 10 raised 23 atoms or substances. So number of moles of substance equals to number of moles of a substance must be equals to number of moles of or number of molecules divided by number of molecules divided by its Avogadro number. Okay, this is described earlier. So we have to find the relation. Number of moles of substance. Number of moles of substance equals to, that is, number of moles of a substance equals to number of molecules divided by what is the value of Na Avogadro number, that is 6.02 into 10 raised power 23. So this is the relation between Avogadro number and number of substances. Now, moving toward next question. Now, calculate the number of moles of a substance in a sample. So A, B, C, D, E is given. So first we have to write the general formula of number of moles. How to find number of moles? As we know that number of moles equals to mass in grams divided by molar mass. So by considering this formula, we have just substitute the values of the mass and molar mass, which is defined the number of moles. So in case in A part, we're given that 2.4 gram of helium. So first we have to find the molar mass of helium. That is, molar mass of helium is 4 grams. Okay, and the mass given is equals to 2.4 grams. So the number of moles equals to number of moles equals to 2.4 grams divided by 4 grams. So the value is 0.6 moles. Okay, now in question number 2, that is the part B. We have to arrange this part only. That the molar mass, that this is the part B. Now the given is carbon. So we have to eliminate these values. Now, just putting. Now the molar mass of carbon is 12 grams, and this value is given 250 mg. It means that we have to find in the value in grams, so its value must be equal to 0.250 grams. 250 grams. Now it's equals to mass divided by mass is 0.250. Now the it's carbon 12 grams, so it's equal to 12. So we have to find that the value is 0.021 moles. Now in part C, we define that 15 grams of NaCl. So what is, and we have in C, just a while. in C. Number of moles, that is mass given is 15 grams, and this is Na and Cl. So NaCl means Na, the atomic 23 plus 35.5. 35.5. It must be equal to 58.5. So it's equal to 15 grams divided by 58.5 grams. So the value must be equal to 0.25 moles. Now in fourth one case, 40 grams of sulfur. Now there is this part. Now we have given the molar mass of sulfur is 32 grams, and the mass given is 40. So 40 divided by 32, the value must be equal to 1.25 moles. In part E, 1.5 kg of magnesium oxide. So magnesium oxide, now we have to, what is the ultimate value of the magnesium oxide? Because in case of magnesium oxide, we have to consider two values, that is magnesium and oxygen. The magnesium is 24, atomic mass is 24, and oxygen is 16. So magnesium oxide must be 40 grams and 1.5 kg. 1.5 kg means 1500 grams. So its value is equal to 1500 gram divided by 40 grams. So it equals to 37.5 moles. So the general formula is number of moles equals to mass in grams divided by molar mass. So this is the simplest case. Now moving further and moving towards question number 13. Calculate the mass in grams of each of the following. And previous we have to find the number of moles. Now we have to find the calculate the mass in grams. So first we have to write the general formula. As we know that the number of moles is equals to mass divided by molar mass. We have to find the mass. So mass equals to number of moles multiplied by molar mass. So mass is equals to, for mass, we have to know two values, number of moles multiplied by molar mass. Now 1.2 moles of calcium. As the sign of calcium is K, number of moles given is 12, that is 12 in case 1. That's A. And molar mass of calcium is, molar mass is 39. Now calculating value of H2. Molar mass is 2 multiplied by 1. It must be equals to 2 molar mass, 2 grams. In case of steam, that is water, it must be equal to 18 grams. 39 gram, 18 gram. Now in this case, CuSO4. Cu, the atomic mass is 63.5 plus sulfur. Sulfur is 32 and oxygen 4. 4 moles of means 4 multiplied by 16. Now plus 5 moles of water. 5 moles of water means 5 multiplied by 18. So the total value must be equals to 249.5. 249.5 grams. Okay. Now in case of H2SO4, H2SO4 is 2 moles of hydrogen, that is 2 plus 32, then 16 multiplied by 4, it must be equals to, that is 4 multiplied by 16. So the whole value must be equals to 98 grams. Now, it's the simplest case now. In first case, we have to find 1.2 moles of this. So 1.2 multiplied by 39, because the molar mass of calcium is this one. The value is 46.8 grams. In part B, it must be equals to 75 multiplied by 2. 75 multiplied by 2, it must be equal to 150 grams. In part C, 0.25 mole of steam, so it is equals to 0.25 multiplied by 18. So its value equals to 4.5 grams. Now E, sorry, D part, 1.05 multiplied by 249.5. So the value equals to 261.9 grams. E part is 0.15 moles of H2SO4. So it's equals to 0.15 multiplied by H2SO4 means 98. So the value must be equals to 14.7 grams. This is general questions solution of all the number of moles of substance or number of mass of substance. Now, in the third case, we have to find the number of molecules present in each of the following cases. So as this is the simplest case, we have to write the general formula. As we know that number of molecules, it must be equal to number of moles multiplied by Avogadro number, Na. So it's the simplest one cases. We have to just multiply the number of moles with 6.02 multiply. In case of A part, number of moles is how many? 2.5 multiplied by how many? The value of this is 6.02 into 10 raised power 23. Now this must be equal to 1.505 multiplied by 10 to the power 24 molecules. Now in part B, the value is 3.4 multiplied by 6.02 into 10 raised power 23, 2 and 3. The value must be equal to 2.04 multiplied by 10 raised power 24 molecules. Now this C is 1.09 multiplied by 6.02 multiplied 10 raised power 23. So it must be equals to 6.56 into 10 raised power 23 molecules. Now, in case of last one, it must be equal to D part is 0.01 multiplied by 6.02 into 10 raised power 23. So it must be equals to 0.06 into 10 raised power 23 molecules. So this is the end of the question. Now, in this question, we have to find that there nor each of the following is the example of empirical formula or not. In case of A, Al2, Cl2, the ratio is 2:6. It is not the simplest whole number ratio. So Al2 is not an empirical formula, not an example of not an example of empirical formula. In case at G2 Cl2, 2:2, 2:2, as 2:2 is not in the not in the whole number ratio. In case this 1:1, yes, this is an example of empirical formula. In case of this one, 2:6:1, yes, this is an example of empirical formula. So we have to, by identifying the simplest whole number ratio. Now, moving to our next question. The next one is TNT or trinitrotoluene is an example of the compound and the bonds it contains. How many? It contains 7 carbon atoms, 5 hydrogen atoms, and 3 nitrogen atoms, and 6 oxygen atoms. Write its empirical formula. So it's that simple. How many carbon? It's carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, and oxygen. So it contains 7, 5 hydrogen, 3 nitrogen, and 6 oxygen. So it must be C7, H5, and 3O6. This is the empirical formula. Now, moving to the next question. A molecule contains 4 phosphorus atoms and 10 oxygen atoms. Write the empirical formula of the following. Also determine the molecular formula. Now, it contains molecular formula is is equals to P4O10, and empirical formula is P2O5. So this is the general molecular and empirical formula. So this is the question number, ending of the question number 17. Now question number 18. Calculate the number of atoms. So first we have to write the number of general formula. Number of atoms equals to number of moles multiplied by Avogadro number and A. So in case A, what is how many number of moles? Number of moles is 3.4, and just we have to multiply with 6.02 into 10 raised power 23. In part B, we have to 23 moles multiply by. Now in second question, we have the number is 23 gram, not the moles. So what is number of moles? Number of moles is just the mass in gram, that is 23 divided by molar mass. So for the molar mass of sodium is 23. So 23 multiplied by divided by 23 multiplied by 6.02 into 10 raised power 23. Okay. In part C, it must be equals to mass in grams. So how many? That is 5, and it's the hydrogen 1 multiplied by 6.02 into 10 raised power 23. So the answer is 2.05 multiplied by 10 raised 24 atoms. And in second case, it must be equals to 6.02 into 10 raised 23 atoms. And in fifth case, it must be equals to 3.01 into 10 raised power 24 atoms. Now in the last question, we have to find the calculate the mass. Yes, mass of the following. So first we have to write the formula. So the formula is mass in grams must be equals to number of atoms multiplied by molar mass divided by Avogadro number. So this is equal to mass in grams equals to number of atoms multiplied by molar mass divided by Avogadro numbers. So 3.24 into 10 raised 18. This is the part A. So what number of atoms is 3.24 into 10 raised power 18. Fe molar masses of Fe is 56, and the Avogadro number is 6.02 into 10 raised power 23. So by putting all the values, this must be equal to 3.01 into 10 raised power minus 4 grams. Okay, this is the first part. Now in the second part, we have to find that in the 2 into 10 raised 10 moles of nitrogen gas. So in case this B part is how many number of atoms? 2 into 10 raised power 10. What is the molar mass of nitrogen? Nitrogen molar mass is 28, and the Avogadro number is 6.02 into 10 raised power 23. So the value must be equals to 9.3 into 10 raised power minus 13 grams. Okay, and so similarly in C, in part C, it must be equals to 1 into 10 raised power 25 into what is water 18, and Avogadro number is 6.02 into 10 raised power 23. So by substituting all the values, so it must be equals to 2.99 into 10 raised power 2 grams. So in D case, so it's just the 3 into 10 raised power 6 multiplied by what is the aluminum? 27 whole divided by Avogadro number 6.02 into 10 raised power 23. So this value must be equals to 1.346 into 10 raised power minus 16. This is the end of the complete chapter number 1. So this is the ending of chapter number 1. Hope you understand each and everything. Goodbye from this lecture.